I fell into publishing really. I was working as a receptionist in the city and I absolutely hated it, and I decided to quit, which was a bit stupid. I needed to make rent and a temp agency said, oh, there's an editorial assistant job, do you want to take it? So I went and temped for a while and then I just loved it and have been there ever since. Well, medical publishing, because obviously I don't have any medical experience, what more you need is to be very good with people, because a lot of the time you have very, very busy people who need someone to push them into writing their chapters and getting their books done. So you need to be good with people, you need to be very organised, you need to be a good project manager, because essentially what you do is look after a book from beginning to end and make sure it goes through on time and everything works. So that's really what you need to be, good with people and good at making deadlines. So you don't need any kind of special qualification. On a day-to-day level, I look after authors and editors. So once a book's been given approval by our editorial board, it's given to me and then I work with the authors and editors to develop the manuscript. So that's really just keeping people to deadline, trying to work out what they want from the book and making that a reality, and lots of things like making sure no one's writing anything too long, checking figures are the right size, watching surgical procedure videos to make sure that they actually make sense and tell someone something, that sort of thing, looking for exciting extra content that could go on maybe online only platforms or ebooks. The most rewarding part of my job is when the book publishes and it comes out and you get a really good review, or just someone on Amazon saying thank you, this book helped me understand something, or it really explains this surgical procedure. And also when you've been working with someone really closely for maybe 2 or 3 years to get this book out, and it's what they wanted, it's their vision for what the book was going to be and how it was going to explain something. The most interesting development in publishing at the moment is the fact that we now have ebooks and online only content. Publishing, I think, is a real crossroads with what is going to happen in the future, and books are no longer just words on a printed page. Certainly within academic and medical publishing, you can now have surgical video, you can have enhanced figures that explain concepts perhaps better than just a normal artwork. You can have tons of extra content online. So I'm making Grey's Anatomy at the moment, which is literally it can't be any bigger or its binding will break, but we're able to put so much extra stuff online. So we're introducing paediatric anatomy and much more MRI imaging and things like that, so things that people actually see in clinic or before they go into surgery. So that is the most interesting and I think challenging part of how publishing is going to deal with that in the future. The challenges I face are getting people to deliver on deadline, because obviously surgeons and doctors are very busy people, but I think really the biggest challenge is always creating a book that explains things well to people. And a lot of the time what we're trying to explain is very complicated, so finding good ways of summarising that, and introducing ways that make the concept easier for people. The working culture of the publishing industry is, I think, amazing. I love working in publishing. It's really collaborative, there's a lot of teamwork, and everybody that I've worked with, I work in a group of people who are all quite young, and we're all really good friends. I've made some of my best friends in publishing. So I think it's a really lovely industry to work in. If I was going to advise someone getting into publishing, I would say understand the market before you start looking for jobs. I didn't really, and I just kind of was luckily fell into it. But I think now you should definitely see what the possibilities are. It's not just about books anymore. There's a lot more to it than that. And also, if you can, move around a bit, go to different places, try education and academic and trade and see which one works for you.